For the past 5 years, I dedicated every ounce of energy and passion into building my small catering business from scratch. It wasn't anything flashy, no cutting-edge equipment, no high-tech marketing strategies, just a labor of love. Cooking, planning events, and crafting unforgettable experiences had always been my calling. My parents often remarked that I had a special talent for making people happy through food, and eventually, I decided to take a leap of faith. I rented a modest kitchen, hustled for clients, and slowly, the small gigs and one-off events blossomed into a stable, full-time venture. Through relentless effort, I reached a point of comfort and pride. I had a handful of loyal employees, a steady stream of customers, and a business that was finally self-sustaining. 2 years ago, I hit a milestone I hadn't dared to dream of. I purchased my own home. I wasn't rich, but I was content, proud of the life I had built with my own hands. Then came my fiancée, let's call her Mary. She was 27 when we met at a mutual friend's birthday celebration, and the chemistry was undeniable. There was something magnetic about her confidence, a spark I couldn't ignore. Soon enough, we became inseparable. She often visited my catering events, teasing me about new recipes and sampling dishes with gusto. My parents quickly took to her, especially my mom, who saw Mary as supportive and genuinely invested in my goals. Everything seemed perfect. After a year of dating, marriage became a natural next step. Looking back, though, there were subtle warning signs I chose to ignore. Mary would get possessive if I complimented female employees, even in a purely professional context. She hinted repeatedly that managing a home alone was too much, with statements like, "If we're going to marry, I want everything in both our names." At the time, I brushed it off as standard conversation about merging lives. She came from a wealthy family with high-end property in another state, so I assumed she was just used to a certain lifestyle. I proposed during a cozy candlelit dinner, serving her favorite homemade fettuccine alfredo. She was overjoyed, snapping photos, squealing in excitement, sending texts to friends. I was convinced I had found my lifelong partner. But once wedding planning began, Mary's controlling tendencies became evident. She wanted every detail her way: a specific venue, a designer dress, and a guest list limited to high-profile individuals in her social circle. At first, I let her handle what mattered to her. I wanted her to feel happy. Then came the prenuptial agreement. I'm not opposed to prenups, they're practical, but what she proposed wasn't fair. Mary wanted my house in her name and half of my business if we ever divorced. She framed it as a favor, as if letting me keep 50% was generous, as though the business and home weren't already mine. When I pointed out how unreasonable it was, she twisted the narrative. "If you won't sign, it means you don't trust me. It means you're not committed." She even guilt-tripped me, claiming that refusing would insult her family. My parents tried to reason with me. "Marriages end in divorce. We just want to be safe," they said. But I knew that if safety were truly the concern, it wouldn't involve handing over everything I had built. Arguments about the prenup spilled over into breakfast, the car, even in front of my mother. I suggested consulting a professional to draft a balanced prenup. Whatever we brought into the marriage remained ours individually, and anything we built together would be split equally. Reasonable, right? But to her it sounded foreign. She grew cold and hostile, slamming doors, rolling her eyes, sighing dramatically whenever I spoke. One night, I woke at 2 a.m. to find her rifling through papers in my office. She claimed she was looking for her passport, but I suspected she was searching for financial documents. My stress mounted. I confided in my father, who had previously avoided interfering in our relationship. Seeing me worn thin, sleepless, and losing weight, he finally said, "You've built something good. Don't let anyone take advantage of that." My mother eventually realized how unreasonable Mary's demands had become. As the wedding approached, the pressure intensified. Mary roped in her father, who called me abruptly one afternoon. "We need to talk about you signing that paperwork. My daughter deserves security. Surely you don't want to ruin this wedding." The audacity stunned me. He expected me to give away my home and half my business without any consideration for fairness. Mary didn't stop there. She invited friends over, framing casual conversation about my business as a test of my financial fitness. The subtext was clear: I was expected to sign away everything to maintain her comfort. By 2 months before the wedding, I'd reached my breaking point. One morning, as she casually brought up the prenup again, I said the words I had been holding back. "This wedding is off." She froze, then erupted into a torrent of accusations: betrayal, humiliation, wasted time. I walked away, knowing I had avoided a disaster. Later, I learned she had already started dating someone else, confirming my suspicions. She had never truly loved me. She had only been after what she could take. The following days solidified the truth. Mary returned with a new version of the prenup, more insidious and calculated than before. When I refused, she flew into a rage, screaming about how ungrateful I was and how I had wronged her. Her mask shattered, revealing someone who cared only about what I could provide. I consulted a lawyer, who called the document a financial hostage situation. Completely one-sided and unlikely to hold up in court. Mary's father continued to pressure me, repeating the same arguments about protecting his daughter. Even her attempts to manipulate my mother failed, as my parents finally saw through the deception. Mary escalated further, demanding reimbursement for wedding expenses, including deposits, dress fittings, and spa treatments. She expected to profit from a relationship she never truly valued. I refused, ready to defend myself legally if necessary. Locks were changed, security cameras installed, and her attempts to shame or manipulate me were met with facts. My house, my business, my dignity remained intact. Her social circle began to recognize the truth about her. Even the photographer who had done our engagement photos confirmed Mary had tried to strong-arm her into discounts. In the end, Mary walked away with nothing. I retained my home, my business, and my peace of mind. Though the experience drained me, I am grateful I saw the truth before it was too late. My father's words echoed in my mind. "Better now than after you say I do." Now I've focused on expanding my catering business, securing new corporate contracts, and surrounding myself with people who genuinely support me. Looking back, I realize how close I came to making the biggest mistake of my life, and I'm thankful I dodged it. The lesson is clear. When someone reveals their true character, believe them.